And so I'm laying that t-shirt out, getting it nice and flat, doing a little pressing if I need to press it, laying the fusible interfacing over the top. Again, make sure you get no wrinkles down there. And then I've got a hot iron, and don't use steam. And then I just leave it in one place for 10 seconds and move to the next. So here I have all the blocks stabilized and cut out into the size block I would want. Now when you're doing a t-shirt quilt, the blocks have to be divisible by the same number. Mine are 5, 10, and 15. 10 and 15 both being divisible by 5. You would determine that number by your blocks, measuring them. You may end up with a block that's divisible by 4, so it's 4, 8, 12. Okay, a couple things I wanted to show you about cutting the fabric out in certain sizes. Like if you go to this block, this is a 15-inch block. So you cut it out at 15.5, so you have your 1/4-inch seam allowance all the way around. And then if you go to this block, this is where you've got to have the divisible by. Like this is a 5-inch block, all 3 of those. That's a 10-inch block. So what I normally do is, on this one I have a 10-inch in the corner, and then a 5-inch square here, but then I got a 5 by 10 to fit these 2 spots to fill them in. This one here is the same thing. I've got my 10-inch block, which is going to be 10.5 when you cut it out. I've got a 5 by 10, and then I got 3 5 by 5s. My 10 and 5 is 15, and then my 10 and my 5 makes 15. So I end up with a 15-inch finished block, which is the same size as the solid blocks. If you can't get your pattern into this exact format, you can fudge it up a little bit. Okay, and what I mean by fudging it up is I couldn't get these 2 shirts that I talked about earlier into the same format. So I ended up cutting, instead of this being 15, I made this 7.5 and this 7.5. So I was able to get those 2 little shirts on here by changing the size of that block. So this block has 4 squares in it. It's a 4-patch. Where the other blocks that are cut up have a 10-inch, 5 by 5, and then 2 5 by 10s. So it still ends up being a 15-inch square block, but I had to make that one a little bit different than the rest of my design. So you can do things like that to make it work also. So now it is May 31st. The quilt top is done. I used a 4-inch sashing and a 5-inch border around it. Next thing is to make a trip to Iowa and have my daughter do some quilting for me, get it layered and quilted. Kind of excited. I think I'm going to get this done on time.